Red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning.
We have all heard this saying before, and some of us have even used it as a rule of thumb. But is the folklore fact or fiction? Well, one thing is for sure, people have known of this phenomenon for a very long time. The earliest example comes to us from the Bible.
When the evening ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering.
Years later, the famous Shakespeare knew of the lore and used it in his 1593 poem, Venus and Adonis.
Like a red morn that ever yet betokened, wrack to the seaman, tempest to the field, sorrow to shepherds, woe unto the birds, gusts and foul, flaws to herdsmen and to herds.
Well, that is all fine and good, but is there any scientific evidence to support the folklore? Well, in this case, there actually is. But in order to understand it, we have to touch on a subject known as diffraction.
Diffraction is the breaking up of a ray of light into the colors of the spectrum. Those colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay, the next step is to understand that light rays get scattered by particles in the atmosphere. There is also a correlation between the wavelength of the light ray and if it will get scattered or not. The longer the wavelength, the harder it is to scatter, while the shorter the wavelength, the easier it is to scatter. Red has the longest wavelength and violet the shortest. Normally, when the sun sets or rises, it does so with a yellow to orange hue. This is because when the sun is low on the horizon, it has more atmosphere to go through. Therefore, the shorter wavelengths get scattered out, and so the sun appears yellow or orange.
However, the sun does not appear red because the normal atmosphere does not have enough particles in it to scatter out the longer wavelengths like yellow and orange.
But when dry weather is present, the atmosphere is often full of dry dust particles. These dust particles are larger than the normal particles in the atmosphere. Therefore, these particles can effectively scatter out the remaining orange and yellow light, allowing only the longest wavelength, red, to be visible with the naked eye.
The last thing to understand is that weather moves from west to east. So a red sky in the evening or in the west means that a dry atmosphere will be here tomorrow. However, a red sky in the east means a dry atmosphere has already passed us by. So the next time you see a red sky in the evening, you could think of the old maritime proverb and know that it is fact. For News 12, I'm Bryson Van Eck.